All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Trust Engine Mortgage Coach Tuesday interview. Every Tuesday, we want to put on the best sales meeting in the mortgage business. And this is a continuation of the Mortgage Coach 10X program. So every Tuesday in August, every Tuesday in September, every Tuesday now in September, we're gonna do, or October, we're gonna do Mortgage Coach 10X training. That means we're very focused on, helping you make the transition from I'm a loan officer who quotes rates and fees to I am a mortgage advisor. I am a mortgage coach who really helps families at a whole new level. One more thing before I bring our special guest, Sean Herrero, on. Last week, we announced and we launched the First Home IQ Ambassador Program. So first of all, I think we had over 60 people apply. For anyone who applied for the Ambassador Program, thank you. We did approve a few more than 26. I don't remember the exact number. There was an article in Housing Wire. Thank you, Housing Wire, for being a media partner to help us put press and shine a light on this. And Sean Herrero applied and is now a First Home IQ ambassador. What's up, Sean? You're on mute, brother.
Every freaking time. No, I'm super excited for Home IQ. Having a 21-year-old son, or soon to be 21-year-old, I love what First Home IQ is doing, and I'm super excited to get to kick that off.
Actually, I'm going to show my screen real quick. I want to, one ask is that everyone in this community and lending, first of all, go read the press release. I'll put a link when I'm not talking in chat with the press release. For anyone that's got a heart to be an ambassador, that, hey, I really want to get behind this, I'll also put a link where you can go to a webpage and sign up to get on the list. We will be adding more people as we think we can support more people. And then we did, Kristen killed it, and we have a First Home IQ score. So this just came out and it's in beta. Both my kids did it and some of my kids' friends. Sean, this might be something that you might want to share with your son. First of all, while we designed it and the whole program is about helping Gen Z, less than 25-year-olds, high school, college, get smart on home ownership. Like anybody and everybody should take this test. So we're hoping to have millions of people go through this experience, take this test. I will put a link to take the test, and Sean, might be something that you want to share with your kids and friends.
I'm going to take it and see how well I do.
Right on. Oh, looks like Paul already shared a link to the Ambassador Program and the Housing Wire article and the Ambassador Program. So check that guy out, everybody. So Sean, welcome to, I don't even know how many times I've interviewed you, and it's been a lot lately, just because you're such a great living example of a mortgage advisor. But how you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm good. I'm really good. Yeah, no, I love getting to do these, and I appreciate you having me on. And I guess for me, the cool thing is there's always something new to talk about, and maybe that's why I keep showing up, is like, hey, I did something different. So.
Yeah, well, I think that is it. I mean, I think the last time I interviewed you, you had just that day had got an email that you were one of the top loan officers for cross country. How is production? Are you still killing it?
Yeah, I ended number 10. I fell out of my number 6 spot, or maybe I was 5. But yeah, to be top 10 with just me, an assistant, and a processor, I'll take pride in that. And one thing I was talking to another group this morning about this. I want everyone on this call to stop thinking about the market. The market does not dictate your production, because you don't need to help 1,000 people, right? I mean, if you do 3 loans a month and you do 6 loans a month, you doubled your market share. It's not hard for us individually to double market share. It's hard for a company to do it, but it's not hard for us. So we got to stop letting the market dictate where our success lies. And I just kind of had this I've had it moment this morning with some other folks I was talking to, but I don't care what the market is. I don't care that rates are about to be at 8%. I just don't care. Yeah,
no, you're really, really good point. And guys, we'll put a link to this, but if you go to trustengine.com/10x, the mission goes on, all on this page. You could do everything from, if you're not a mortgage coach, you can sign up to be a mortgage coach. You could get all the different sessions. You can see Sean is right here. By the way, Paul, we need to make sure we get a link to watch. Daniel Say just killed it. I mean, he's actually on track to do about 370 loans this year. He's already done 270, and he thinks he's actually could get to 400. Really spectacular interview. Sean, how to optimize purchase power. That was on September 19th. But all of these, I could just go on. Every single one of these interviews is absolutely killer. So check them out. So today, this call is going to be around, you recently did was it 160 realtors you did a presentation for?
Yeah. That was actually a fun little project that we put together.
So why don't you tell the story around, what it was, and then we'll break it down, and we'll really do this interview around how did you get the opportunity? So you were on that stage. What did you do on that stage in order to deliver value? And then, let's make sure we leave real time, because the fortune's in the follow-up.
Yep.
What are you going to do to follow up from being on that stage so that you really optimize the opportunity? So let's start with just the story. Tell us about what happened.
So I think we make things bigger than they need to be. I had lunch with an appraiser in our area that he likes to speak, and I just saw him on Instagram a lot, and he was speaking to big groups of real estate agents and this and that, and said, hey, we got to go to lunch. Like, we knew of each other, but we hadn't really ever met, right? Sat down together. So we went to lunch, and it was just a really fun conversation. We complimented each other with the way we look at things. And I guess I got lucky. I have a non-introverted appraiser in my market. So we were just talking.
By the way, I have a feeling in every market, there's a home inspector that's playing the social game. There's a title rep or mole. There's an appraiser. There are people in mortgage. There are CPAs that are the top CPA in every city in America on social media. So I doubt whether, that's not that uncommon, I would imagine.
Yeah. And so I was like, man, this is so fun. We got to do an event together. We both love speaking on stage. Let's just set something up locally and see what happens. And I found a location, booked it. We picked the date, and then we marketed that date. So we committed ourselves to it, right? If both he and I said, hey, we're going to do this event on this date, September 20th, now we're committed, right? The room's committed. So the first step to doing any type of event is just set the venue, set the date. Well, the venue ended up changing because the place I was working at was like big, cool stadium seating, and I get everything booked, and they only respond once a day. So it's just taking a week to finally make progress. And they go, just send us your permit from the city. I'm like, why would I need a permit to do a free event at your venue? And I was like, forget these guys, I'm switching gears. And I just kept the same date, but we switched locations. It turned out there was a Tom Ferry conference the same date, in about 30 minutes from where we were having it. And I just have really bad luck with that. Every time I do an event, there is a competing Tom Ferry event for some reason. And we're like, what should we do? Should we move it out? Should we leave it? And we said, we already committed to it. It's 3 weeks out at this point. Let's just do it. So we did it.
So you competed with Tom Ferry,
Yeah. Same day.
Yeah. Bring it, Tom.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to go poach Tom Ferry. I was like, let's push it out a week or two, go to Tom Ferry, promote our event at the Tom Ferry event.
By the way, that would be my official recommendation to people listening right now. Don't compete with Tom Ferry and do an event on the same day. That is not a best practice. But keep going, bro.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Google Tom Ferry events in my area before you set your date.
And schedule it the week after, because go there and drive some folks to your event. So I like that.
So that's what we'll do next time. So that was it. He likes to speak. I like to speak. We both know how to address the current market. Let's just do it. And so we set it up, did an Eventbrite, nothing special. We posted on social, put it out to our sphere of influence as far as, my realtor database, things like that go. And the signups just kept coming. And I thought, I really thought we're probably only going to get like 50 people to register, which means probably 30 will show up. Because again, Tom Ferry, same date. It just kept growing. We got 100 registrations, and then we got to 130 registrations. The way we had the room set was a max of like 110 people, I think. And then we're, sold out, right? Event sells out, and we're just kind of blown away. I'm like, yeah, but I still only account for like 60% to show up. So we'll over register. And then it just kept coming. We had a wait list on Eventbrite, and it kept filling up. And it was cool for a couple of reasons. One, it meant that he and I had both built a brand within the in our real estate community, where people are like, I want to hear what these guys have to say. And that was really cool to have. That was the first time I've really felt that way. And we also brought in another gentleman who's a real estate agent coach, basically, for Next Home, which is, a national company. So it was kind of cool. I was making a joke. I was like, a realtor, a lender, and a appraiser walk into a bar, right? That's who we had. And this was all just happening organically, right? This wasn't like this big thought out. We spent 6 months trying to figure out this event. This was lunch. We should do something because this is good energy. We both can add value. We're confident in that. And Anthony, the appraiser, says, hey, let's bring Keith Robinson in too. Great, let's do it. That sounds awesome. It just happened very naturally and organically. And then the presentation was so data-driven between what Anthony presented. So he presented, a lot of rebuttal information, like how to properly do a reconsideration of value, how to look at value, how to look at comps. He went into such depth on an appraisal, and everyone loved it, right? So we think people want to learn about how to make videos on social media. Making videos on social media doesn't solve the problem that's preventing them from making money tomorrow, right? And of course, everything I do is so data driven that I thought it'd be over their heads. And when the event ended, everyone's like, when's the next one? And I'm like, well, we just finished. Like, we're having drinks right now. And they wanted more. And so we're going to do another one in beginning of November, about a month from now. I don't have the venue yet because we're going to do a different city. And then we're going to make it quarterly. So like, this thing evolved from a very simple lunch into something the three of us are going to do quarterly. And we called it the Win Event, because I wanted people to win in the fourth quarter. So we just said, let's call it Win. By
the way, is it the Win Event or just Win Event?
Just Win. We went, the Facebook route where it was thefacebook.com, and they said, drop the.
Love it. Love it. I just got to get the details. I'm loving that.
Yeah. So now, I'm on the hook. I said, I'll find the venue in the other city we're going to do it in. It's still in Northern California, but I want to do one in Orange County. So I'm like, how do we do that next?
Bring it.
Yep. So we will. And so the reason I kind of preface it this way is for anyone who's like, one, you have to like speaking to do events. If you don't like speaking, don't plan an event. But if you're like,
whoa. I don't align with that. If you don't like speaking, you can find people that do like to speak. Now, you're probably going to need a budget, like if you want to fly in Sean. And by the way, Sean, if a loan officer in, a market that you could get to within an hour or two by plane, paid your expenses and wrote a check to you to have you come in and make them look like a rock star because they don't like speaking, would you do it?
In a heartbeat. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do.
Okay. So I just want to make sure.
No,
guys,
thank you for that.
If anybody in real estate or mortgage, you want to be a leader, if you're great on stage and you love the stage, be on stage. There's nothing better than building your credibility and being with other people that you're on stage. And I can tell you guys, while I've been on a lot of stages in the mortgage industry now, and I'm, pretty well known because I've been on stages, no one was more afraid to speak than me. I took a speaking class in college because I knew that, hey, if I want to be, because I am competitive, I want to win, I want to be the most successful at whatever I do. And I knew being able to talk to groups was part of that. So I took speech in college, but the teacher said, you know what, if, there's going to be a big, test and a speech at the end of the year. And if you don't do it, you're automatically getting a B. And in my head, I just went like, well, I'm going to get a B in this class because I'm going to learn, but I'm not going to do that, 10-minute presentation. And he talked me into it and I did it. But when I spoke for the first time, literally there's nothing I've been more afraid of in my entire life than getting on that first stage. So I say all that because if I can do it, anybody can do it. It really is something that you can do, but whether you get on the stage yourself or not, you can find Sean Herrero. I bet you Jeremy, will do this. There are other top professionals that would love to be on stages throughout the industry. So back to you, bro.
Yeah, so you're right. So if you don't like speaking yet, warm up to and start, because I hated it the first time I did it too, but now it's my favorite thing to do. So, but you can still have an event. Just if you don't have the confidence to speak at it, get someone else to do it. Like expert positioning. Like yesterday I had an event where I wanted to do something for law enforcement. I am by no means an expert shooter, but I wanted to do a training. So I had a Navy SEAL friend come in and do a shooting event for law enforcement yesterday. To Dave's point, I'm not the best at it, so I got somebody who was. So yeah, so basically the content of the event completely surrounded the current market situation. And a lot of it was Mortgage Coach. And if you were on the call, we did what, 3 weeks ago, I think, maybe a month ago at this point.
The 17th. So whatever,
Okay,
September 17th.
Yeah. So the 17th, this event was the 20th. It was just 2 days later.
Oh, that's right. We talked about it. Yeah. We talked about this event, and you actually shared some of the TCAs that you were going to share at the event. I remember all that now.
Yeah. And so the TCAs for this specific event, and it is a Mortgage Coach is a lot of what I present, regardless of where I'm speaking. Like I'm at Annie Mac in New Jersey's summit next week. There's a lot of Mortgage Coach in there. Just because it drives home the points, right? I can solve anybody's problem with a Mortgage Coach presentation. I haven't found a problem I can't solve yet. So, what I do is I try and think of, okay, what are the frustrations that the real estate agents are going through right now? And that's the same approach Anthony took, and that's the same approach Keith Robinson takes. So that's why there was such good synergy with the three of us. It wasn't about us. It wasn't, here's why you should use me as your lender. Nobody's going to come to that presentation. They don't care. But here's how you're going to make more money in the fourth quarter. I'm willing to listen to that. Here's how you're going to get more buyers into contract. Here's how you're going to get more offers accepted. Here's how you're going to get more listings. I'll come to that, right? That is a value to me. So that's what we presented on. And I just tried to speak to the topics that I currently have clients going through. A multiple offer situation. How should we make an offer? Let's look at price differently. Let's look at price as what does the house cost you instead of what does the house cost? What if it doesn't appraise? Very, very common question from a real estate agent on every listing. If there's multiple offers and we're going above ask, Sean, what happens if it doesn't appraise? I showed them how I build confidence with my clients if they make confident offers using a TCA. I have a bunch of them in there, but it's all about what is on their mind right now, right? What can we do today to help them create more transactions, get buyers off the fence, help people understand that mortgage rates don't matter, right? I said that. I went through, so I'll back up. The premise of the presentation with the way I gave it was, here's the top 3 reasons you shouldn't buy real estate right now. And I went through the common things we hear either on social media or wherever else from buyers. The recession, home prices are going to crash, mortgage rates are too high, in inflation, right? Top 3 reasons not to buy real estate. Well, inflation increases value over time, right? If you bought a home for $1 million in 2018, it would feel like $1,250,000 today, just by way of inflation. And the Fed's goal is not to get to 0 or negative inflation. They want to get to 2%, which means every single year, money is being devalued by 2%. A mortgage avoids that. So showing as a finance nerd, how to show a home buyer how to look at it properly, right? Here's the benefits of inflation when you're a homeowner. Here's why interest rates, I went to my rate slide. I said, I just don't care. I don't care what interest rates are. And I don't care because I can't control them. Do I want them to be lower? Of course I do. I would love for them to be lower, but they aren't. And even with where they are right now, in most cases for me, we're fighting other people for the same house. So if I have multiple offers with 21-year high interest rates, what am I supposed to do? I can't change the rates, but I can show you why there's benefit to buying in the current market, because you will see lower rates in the future. And then the recession, people, even for me, the only recession I've personally experienced was 2008. So a lot of home buyers think, oh, well, everyone keeps talking about a recession. That means home values are going to crash just like last time. Well, let's go a little bit deeper and look at all of the recessions that have happened and show them that home prices actually go up in recessions outside of 2008. And the reason for that is mortgage rates go down, supply and demand. Dave talks about this all the time, how I think 67% of the homes in America have an interest rate under 4%.
63.
That just added 63.
Yeah.
So 63% of homes in America have a rate under 4%. So that means that we're going to have less inventory than ever. I can build a very compelling reason to show people why they should buy right now versus waiting for something that's never coming. And to a real estate agent, when I present, so I'm showing, not telling, when I present a visual of these, which is what MortgageCoach does so well, oh my gosh, like Sean is solving every problem I hear from my buyers right now. And it's like, I don't want you guys to be the subject matter experts on this. That's my job. If I'm your teammate, this problem gets solved on its own. And that's how I present it. Last time I was talking about data points of, I measure from lead to in contract. And right now I'm averaging about 26 days. It's a really cool data point for a real estate agent because they know that they're, okay, if it's 26 days and then we do a 2-week close, that means I'll be paid in 40 days, right? Real estate agents are struggling as much as anyone else in this market. And that's why these data points are good. So it's like, don't make it about you, make it about them. Like put yourself aside and go solve other people's problems and you solve your own faster.
So we got to unpack some stuff.
Yep.
You have said so many brilliant things. So first of all, is Sean bringing the fire, guys? I wish they had little fire emoji. I do like hearts, but we need a fire emoji. So yeah,
I like
you're
that
bringing
party
the fire.
one.
Although I wanted, when I hit heart, I meant fire. So I want you to write down 2 words, guys, that came to my mind. Now, these words came to my mind a few days ago because we've been using this a lot when we talk to customers about Trust Engine and what we're doing. But everything that Sean was doing, telling his value proposition, write down these 2 words, get your pen and paper out. Informational advantage. He is giving the realtor partners he has an informational. Look at Sean, like he's like, I need a pen. I gotta write that down. He is giving everyone he touches an informational advantage. Now, he can get on that stage with confidence and create and deliver an informational advantage because he's been doing this for years now. But by the way, it's not too late for anyone that is just, you're rate quoting. Hey, I can close loans on time. I can solve problems. I know underwriting guidelines, which by the way, these are all great things. Like I am not saying, hey, don't be an underwriting, king or queen, don't, be great at closing loans on time, keep your promise, but transaction. And we're not in a transaction market. There's lots of challenges and problems, and you need to give people an informational advantage. I don't know if you shared this slide, Sean, but like realtors, they may have heard this, but they don't know it with visual clarity. Like, look at all the mortgages at 2%. Look at all the mortgages at 3%, 4%, and rates are up here. Like pain, problem. And so there's, when you hear what Sean did, and I want to go back and unpack, how he did this, but I just want to make sure everybody really got like the chapters of the story. He got on stage with passion and energy, and he talked about pain in the market. Again, he's in Northern California, so there's some nuance to that, but he talked about pain, and then he's like, solutions, informational advantage. He partnered with people, he talked about data-driven. We're giving you an informational advantage. So anyways, I loved the way you put all that together. Real quick, let's go through a quick, like if there was like 5 steps to putting on your own event like this, what would be the 5 steps? Like go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And I also want to know what your budget was, like financially, what did you guys invest in this? So what are the 5 steps?
So step 1, find a problem to solve. I'm going to say step 1, find a problem to solve and create a deck that solves it. Like you have to have a presentation to solve that problem. So step 1, now that I have confidence in that, book a venue and a date. Step 3, market it like crazy. And to Dave's point, the value of these events oftentimes is not the actual event, it's the invite and the follow-up. If you need a reason to call an agent and you don't want it to be, hey, let's go have coffee like everybody else. Hey, I have an event that's going to show you how to get more listings and win more offers. Would that be of interest? I have a good reason to call someone now. I'm the worst cold caller. Step 4, practice. Make sure that you're ready to present with confidence. Cause I think like video, right? What we're doing right now, confidence is everything. And then step 5, deliver with value on that day and get people fired up. Like those would be my 5 steps.
Is there, I'm looking at your Instagram right now. And by the way, guys, Sean will accept followers of Mortgage Professional. So, follow him. Adventure Lender is his Instagram. I'm looking at all these videos. Were any of these videos part of, like, is there one of them that kind of helped you drive it, or did you do it in stories, or did you have a post that you took down?
I did stories. So I use stories because those are the people that are following me more than anything else. I'll tag the location to keep it hyper local. I didn't want, to make a reel of this event and have it go to Timbuktu, right? Didn't matter. But I use stories a lot. And
did you have an email? Did you send out like?
Oh yeah, I used Bomb to out to all the real estate.
So it was a video. So you had an email list, and was there any just like a post on it, or was it all video content? Bomb video, social media video, and you reaching out to people and having conversations. Was there any like just this is the event and this is the day and this is the headline?
It was all video. I mean,
okay,
I
cool.
did have posts. I got some graphics made. I'm sure I could find them.
Would you mind forward them to me?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Guys, Sean or I will share these in the Trust Engine Facebook group. So, at least for the next week, they'll be towards the top. We'll put like, Sean, do you mind sharing them? Like just, hey, here's
totally. I'll share in a heartbeat.
Here's a couple things.
It's because I hired a graphic designer to make this for me.
Cool.
So can I share? Well, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, show it on your screen. Show it on your screen real quick.
Oh,
We'll take a quick screenshot. Because I want to like the story. Oh, look at that. Oh,
so this is it. So
this more listings, more offers now. Love it.
Yeah, so excitement, the 3 dudes that are speaking, QR code that went, this was the Eventbrite page. So on Eventbrite, you have like a header photo. So this photo was formatted for that. We had this exact same look feel for an Instagram story and then a Facebook or Instagram post. So we could put it 3 places. I didn't put our names on these because I wanted to put our handles. So when we all posted it, we would tag each other. So at Adventure Lender, I
got it. So this was really for a social media post.
Yeah, well, this one specifically, yeah. So, but that way we could use it better, right? Because if it's tagged, it's easier for the other guys to share. We can all just keep sharing each other's stuff, right? And then I would do the green screen. So, like, you can take I'll unshare for a sec so I can see so I can take the story version of that, right? The long version, do a green screen, and just talk over it. Hey guys, I'm having this event. You all should come. I'm a video guy. Like the 2 things that have really gotten me all of my business are in-person presentations and videos, which I call both of those one-to-manys. And that's all I do.
And remember, guys, he was number 10 loan officer out of thousands of loan officers across country. What was your production last month?
Just over 10 million.
10 million in production, and he's killing it. Like, I mean, while he's not going to have a 200, what do you think you'll close the year at? How much in volume?
I'm hoping to get, I don't know if I'll hit 100. I want to get to 100. It was a slow start.
But 90 to 100.
Yeah, for sure. But because I got my momentum, right? I lost my momentum for a minute at the beginning of this year. I think we did that with Sochi, right? He was killing it one month, and I was like, I'm screwed this month because I lost my momentum for a second, and I wasn't doing things like this. If now this is be so repeatable for us, I'll do this once a quarter, and it may be the only thing I ever have to do again, right? I don't know, but that would be really cool to just have this quarterly event where you just keep building value for people, and they're like, we are so fired up to go to that win event.
Yeah, well, I can't wait when you start doing first home IQ events and helping, high school, college students. And I guarantee, guys, I have a story that I'll be able to tell next week, but we had one of our ambassadors that called, I don't know, Kristen told me yesterday, like 76 realtors saying, hey, do you want to I'm a first home IQ ambassador. Do you want to go with me into high schools and colleges and do financial literacy training? And they're like, literally all of the people said yes. So just stay tuned for some stories around that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So let me see. Okay. So I got that checklist. So how many different TCAs did you share from TCA, from stage, and what were they? Just give me a feel for that.
At least I'd say three that come top of mind. So I showed on the last call, the one where I compared me to another lender option, right? Which I think is the most uncommon way we will use TCAs. I got another deal by doing that yesterday, by the way. So I showed the lenders, because I always say the lender's the biggest variable in the transaction. And, kind of in closing, you give them all this data. They go, oh my gosh, this is so powerful. This overcomes all of the obstacles in front of me. I still don't want to use Sean. I'll just use my regular lender, right? Well, the lender's the biggest variable in the transaction, and you're allowing the lender to control your experience and your buyer's experience. And here's what I do to why people should always get a second opinion. So I showed my lender comparison one, right, that a buyer came to me with. I showed what if it doesn't appraise, to illustrate how mortgage insurance works, how just because it doesn't appraise doesn't mean you have to make up the difference. And then I showed how to make an offer. In 25, if you have to go 25,000 higher in price, you as the home buyer not paying 25,000 more, you're paying $170 more per month and an extra $2,500 out of pocket if you're putting 10% down. So those were kind of the key three I could think of that kind of covered. Actually, the fourth one would be like seller buy downs, right? Now I've covered the gamut of every problem in any market.
So by the way, I think 3 is the right number in any one event. I do think a first time buyer, showing the net worth increase depending on the audience is something to consider. But remember, guys, in one of Sean's core messages, be your authentic self. So like you got your market, you have what you're passionate about. We just covered about 5 different types of TCAs, we covered 5. What's the house costing you? Let me compare against another lender. And what if it doesn't appraise? And then, how to use buy downs to get into the market. I do want to call out for any branch managers or managers on this call. We're calling it, negotiate a rate exception, TCA, just because we're having a lot of branch managers that if a loan out, first of all, over 50% of price concessions are complete waste. Like you didn't need to do it. If you would have actually delivered a great experience at the point of sale, not a fee worksheet. Here's your rate, here's your payment, here's your cash to close. Now go shop me and grind me, but you actually gave some value at the point of sale. And then when you do get shopped, show your loan versus your competition, and then show the cost over 24 months. Like, what is that going to cost you? Because remember, these loans are going to be refinanced within 24 months. So now you're just like, oh, that's $2,000 over the course of a year. And here's the deal. Like, I guarantee you, Sean Herrero's clients think that his advice and his service is worth $2,000 over the next year. Like, he's delivering an experience. Now, here's the deal. If you do have to give a concession, negotiate with dollars, like $500, $1,000. According to Optimal Blue, the average price concession in today's market is 80 basis points. You know why? Because loan officers are negotiating with 1/8, a quarter, 3/8 and a rate, and that's expensive. That costs a lot of basis points. So guys, make sure if you're a branch manager, like you do not want to be the average where a price exception costs 80 basis points. So make sure I would even recommend you implement that. Someone wants a price exception in your branch or in your region, show me where you brought a TCA to them and how you netted out the cost on a dollars basis over the course of the year. So Sean, I want to make sure we save the last 15 minutes to focus on follow-up, but why don't you walk us through if there was just one TCA that, and by the way, and I'm not suggesting anyone on this call, I think it's not about the TCA, it's about pain solution. So you want to have 2, probably no more than 3. Here's a problem, here's a solution. and Mortgage Coach is a vehicle to deliver the solution. If you only had one, which one would it be? And why don't you walk us through, like, in 5 minutes or less? And by the way, walk us through it in a way that you're on stage so people can kind of get a feel for how you insert this into a presentation.
So give me the question one more time. If I could only choose one.
One of you had 3 TCAs that you used.
Yep.
If you could only pick one, because I don't have, first of all, we went through all 3 of them in the last call. Guys, we'll put a link to the last call here. But if there was only one, which one would you pick? And then walk us through, similar to how you would do it on stage.
I would pick my lender comparison one.
Wow, I did not expect that.
Yep. No, neither did I. Neither did I.
No, by the way, why? Why did you pick that one?
Because I would love to always be the second choice. If every realtor says, "Hey, just get a second opinion from my guy Sean," I want to build out these TCAs and do that. And in a market like this, where we're all, let's be honest, we're fighting each other for deals, right? It is what it is.
So by the way, John, this is the last call. You wowed me with the fact that you were tracking lead to contract. Yeah, and I can remember it was 26 days, and I thought, what a powerful strategy if you're the loan officer that's meeting with realtors and you're saying, hey, no one is going to get the leads you give me to contract faster than me, and you track it. I'm like, that's brilliant, for so many reasons. And then you did it again, because you're right. Like, if you have 100 realtors, your chance of, like, from stage, I'm going to be your new primary loan officer, like, slim and none. Maybe there's 1 or 2 people that, you had me at hello, Sean. Although those people, you probably already are their primary lender, but you have an audience where all you're trying to do is like, hey, let me be your second quote. So what a great idea to do that. I didn't think about it until you did it, but show it to us and walk us through it. And then guys, I'm going to put a link to this one in chat. If you click on it, Sean, could you kind of walk everybody through it and show off the live feature?
Yeah, let's see. I didn't send that
so
one.
So click on it right now, guys. I just shared it with everyone. Let me help you compare lenders, TCA. And by the way, if you were doing this on Zoom, I would recommend that you share the Zoom link to your realtors. Like, let's say you had 100 realtors on Zoom, give them the link. And then when you walk them through it, it's going to highlight. And trust me, they're all going to be going like, wow, my loan officer doesn't do this. I wish I had a loan officer that delivered this level of transparency, this level of value, this level of advice.
Dave, do you have it up? I just want to make sure I have the right TCA. It says,
well, it's in chat. It's,
okay.
Yeah, I pulled it up. It's got the scanner on it.
Well, yep. Okay, cool.
It's, hi, C and Andrew.
Yep. I should fix that. Oh, well, it doesn't matter for now. Okay, so I don't need to share then if everyone's clicking on it, or should I share?
No, but show it on the screen, because guys, look, what you see on the screen will be Sean's loan officer experience, and what you've clicked on. Go to the very top. I want to see how many people have clicked on it. And we have hundreds, look at that, 75 people are looking at this right now. Did you see that upper right-hand corner, guys? We have 170 people on this call. So let's get everybody clicking on it. All right, go ahead and do a walk.
Great, that's going to blow up my email, which I love. That's one of the best features, by the way, of Mortgage Coach is, like, right now I'm going to have 78 emails that say, your C and Andrew presentation was just viewed. What a great, easy way to follow up. Hey, I just wanted to check in. Oh, just looking at your Mortgage Coach thing. Oh, thanks. So, okay, so here's what I did with this one.
By the way, guys, if you didn't already, make sure you put your camera over. By the way, go back to that real quick. Put your camera over his QR code and notice how he's generating. I mean, Sean, you're so smart, bro.
Thank you.
Look at how he's capturing leads. Make the most educated home buying decision. Get your personalized buyer's guide site. I love that. So guys, make sure you check this out. We'll put a link down below, but this is super smart. I didn't see this before.
Oh, thank you. Once Mortgage Coach has individual unique QR codes for every single TCA, you won't need that anymore. I'll get them there.
All right, we'll get there.
All right. So what I did here is the backstory of this specific transaction was we're 2 weeks into our escrow. It just doesn't feel right. Three past clients that didn't know each other actually referred this guy to me. And I said, well, send me your quotes. I'll model them out in your personalized website and we'll just figure out what's going on. So they sent this to me, and lender A, 815 price, 733 loan amount, had a rate of 7.875. And if you're watching this, not on my screen share, but through the link, this is how I present to buyers when I'm meeting with them, because you just had this screen pop up for you. So you're driving. It's a completely interactive, immersive experience. And people love this. Like, hey, my screen just changed. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I'm driving. I just wanted to show you where to see these things. They're blown away. So if I go over to closing costs and I go to fee detail here at the bottom, they're charging $5,500 for a rate of 7.875 with 5% down. Lender B knew he was competing, got an eighth lower, because of course the buyer wants to hear the rates an eighth lower. Their closing costs were 10% down, 111,000, right? And when I spoke with him, I did something different and I listened. And he said, we want to do 5% down because we need money to do improvements to the property. I said, okay, well, this is a really easy problem to solve. You're paying $5,500 for this rate of 7.875. Just put an extra 6,000 down, basically the same number. We're going to get you to that 726 conventional loan limit, which has lower interest rates. So you're going to get 7.5%. You won't have any points. So instead of giving the lender money for your interest rate, we're going to move it into the equity of your home, and your closing costs are effectively the same. And he's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I go, by the way, either one of these lenders could have done the same thing. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, your loan's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. It's the conventional loan limit isn't mine. It's national. I just listened, right? You said you wanted 5% down. I saw you were paying $5,500. I immediately just said, we're going to put an extra 6,000 down to get you into a lower bracket. They could have all done the same thing. He goes, well, why didn't they? I said, because they're order takers. You said you wanted to buy an 815 home with 5% down. So they gave you what you asked for and they moved on. You don't know what you're asking for because you don't know how these things work. And it's not your job to know how these things work. It's mine. So it's all about trust, right? I didn't sell him anything. I told them either of these other lenders could do the same thing. So he could have gone back to them and said, hey, just talk to this other guy. Can you just make my loan amount 726? And they could have been like, oh yeah, we can absolutely do that, right? But now he trusts me. Why didn't the other two people show me this solution? Why didn't the other two people try to give me more equity instead of charging me more money? I built trust, and then it became a pretty easy switch. He only had, I think, 12 days left in the escrow, but we switched. We closed on time. It was a no-brainer. I built trust with this, and I just did the exact same thing yesterday. The text chain actually is really good from the one yesterday, because the long story short there is they were referred to me by their realtor. The loan, they were paying $20,000 in fees. And I said, if you go with me with the same rate, you're going to pay $13,000 less. And they, of course, went back to their lender and they felt a responsibility. He helped us get into contract, did all these things. It just, the numbers didn't line up at the last minute. And I was like, well, yeah, we call that a bait and switch. They showed you what you wanted to see. Now that you're in contract, you kind of feel stuck. And I don't want you to feel that way. I go, but think about it this way. If you go back to that lender and then magically they can match what I've offered you, do you trust them? Because they were glad to take your $13,000 if you hadn't brought it up. But I go, to me, that's just a lack of integrity, but do whatever you want to do. And they switched to me yesterday. And the text, I should read the text to you guys, but this is how I'm using this. And the reason I say this would be my number one is, to Dave's point, if I have a room full of real estate agents, I don't have 160 new realtors working with me, right? If I can get 10 people in that room to start referring me exclusively, that is a massive win. But this is the most compelling thing. The lender's the biggest variable in the transaction. That's why realtors love cash offers, because we're not there to screw it up. I'm not a variable, and I'll show you how I make sure your client has a better experience than the order takers. It feels pretty powerful to me.
Boom, guys, go back and replay this, master this. If you didn't have the best rate, like let's just say you're getting beat, the only edit I would change is show the savings over 1 year, where he has 60 months, do it 12 months. and where he has it over 15 years, make it 2 years. That
I
way
usually do. So
Yeah.
normally these, so I was going to say that when Dave showed his other one at 12 months, I am not showing more than 12 to 24 months here when I'm comparing just rate by itself. For this one, it was a different strategy, but
No, I got it. No,
yeah,
for this strategy,
but to your point,
you wanted to blow up your value because your strategy, was so much better over time.
Mhm.
And it wasn't as though you were competing. This is a great example of the best mortgage strategy always beats the lowest rate, where transactional loan officers, a great advisor, a great strategist, will always beat a transactionally based loan officer. So by the way, go back up to the top to your QR code. So for the person that asked, how did Sean do this? This is where his company logo would be. So where you would upload a company logo or a team logo, he has chosen to put up a QR code. I've also seen loan officers that had their logo or team, kind of picture where the logo is, and then where Sean has his personal picture. I've seen that as a QR code. Sean is pushing us as a company, and at some point, to let's have a third visual so everybody can have a company logo, a personal picture, and QR code. Maybe someday we'll do that. I would also, but in the meantime, guys, you could repurpose any of these. At the end of the day, the middle one, call it your big image. The far left is your little image. And if you want one of those images to be your QR code, leverage your creativity, and you can see how Sean did it. Super, super smart. So let's get into follow-up. I do want to go ahead and stop sharing your screen. I do want to call out, it looks like you were pretty strategic at driving some call to actions from stage. So why don't you, share what you did so that you create value post event? Like, did you have people download your TCAs? Did you have people email you? What were the call to actions, and what is your follow-up strategy?
So I could have done the call to action there better. I did a QR code that linked to connecting with me, right? I should have either done Calendly. I could have done that better. But I think I had it linked to when they click the reach out. So I should back up. Landing page, when they scan the QR code, video. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming to the WIN event. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you like what I had to say and you think it will benefit your clients, I would love to meet with you and learn more about what your struggles are so that you can win the fourth quarter. Click the link below to meet with me. The links was to email. I like email because then I can build more database. I probably should have done first name, last name, give me your email instead of having it automatically linked to where they could type an email to me. But it's all trial and error. The QR code thing that we just looked at, that was trial and error. I was like, I wonder if I can do this ... And then I try and play around with stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
How many appointments did you get just from what you did on stage? How many people said, oh, I want to keep the conversation going?
So that's where from that, zero. I did not get one single email from that, right? Mm-hmm. But at the event, everyone was coming up and talking to me. And now if I reach out to any of those people, they know who I am. I'm not a cold call anymore, right? And that's why I've always loved
when you reach out to those people.
Yeah. When? I mean, you have to. There's no point in doing an event like that if you don't have a follow-up plan. The value of the event for you is in the invitation and in the follow-up, the post-event follow-up. The presentation is all for them. I'm just trying to use that presentation to create opportunity for me to meet new people. So when I follow up, I'm not another lender calling to ask for coffee. I have a reason. I suck at cold calls. It's just not my thing. That's why I would actually prefer to plan an event to have a reason to call someone. But from my QR code, I got 0 emails. But I've probably already gotten 3 transactions from that event. They're not live yet, but like pre-approvals. People just started referring me. I don't need to meet with Sean. He already convinced me that he's my guy, right? And that's a really cool thing to have happen at events like this.
Let me float an idea by you to tell me if, and by the way, this would be my advice to anyone listening, is that first of all, I'd advise that you have 3 TCAs. and again, it's not about the TCA, it's about problem, solution, and in a way that makes you the hero. And I would recommend that you have one of them that would really speak to a listing agent, where a listing agent would like, hey, I gotta get Sean's help in some way. And then I'd have one that really spoke to a buyer's agent, and maybe some time a first-time home buyer. And then, after I problem, solution, showed them how I could do it, I would have some compelling, if you would like to learn whether you use me or not, like take it away, like whether you want to use me or not, you can take what I'm going to teach you and hand it off to your, number one loan officer. And I really like the comparison option, because that way they've seen, oh, Sean's cool, even if there's lender A, B, and C, he's cool with being lender C. So I did really like, that's a new idea for me. So do show that one. But then your call to action is, and if you want to schedule just 15-minute meeting with me to have me, walk you through this so that you can either, one, better represent yourself with your next listing agent or with your next listing, or better represent yourself with your next buyer. I'm happy to meet 15 minutes and then tell them how they can get the link, whether you're going to send it as a follow-up. Hey, I'm going to send this as a follow-up so you have it. Like, remember, you're giving them a strategic sales presentation that either helps them create urgency with a buyer or helps them, get a seller to either sell their home or rent out their home with a 3% mortgage. And so you're just a little more intentional at driving a call to action based off one of those. First of all, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and that's what's cool about doing this is you do, okay, how could I have done this better the next time? But we want to, if the whole premise is win more listings, win more offers, give them the two things that you said you were going to give. Here's how I'm winning more offers. And here's how my agents are winning more listings. I give them those two things, both of which would be TCAs. And then they get them. Here's one thing I do that's different. If people don't show up to the event, I don't give them anything. Like, hey, Sean, I couldn't be there. Could you send me this and that? Nope. We have to meet first. I'm not just going to give you all this stuff.
By the way, he's using that to drive into a meeting. Love that. Hey, Jocelyn just asked, how long was your presentation?
My piece was 45 minutes. So this event was 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So you asked about cost too. So we did 10 o'clock start, 10:30, Anthony presented. I went on out. His was a little over an hour, which everyone loved, even as data driven as it was. Mine was about 45 minutes. Then we broke for lunch. Keith spoke on all the changes that are coming to how realtors get paid. Oh man, that's a whole nother topic. And then we did like a little fireside chat with the three of us where everyone could just ask questions. So 4-hour event. 4-hour event.
4-hour event and cost budget.
I think the room cost me $700. No cost of anything. The food was the most expensive part. I probably spent $1,600 on lunch. I covered.
Did you split that? So you paid for the whole event, but you could have shared that with your vendor partners.
Totally. And that's where we will do that moving forward. So our follow-up meeting was, what do we do different?
So a couple grand, like no more than $3,000, $2,000. And everyone listen to this, you could split that 3 ways and super huge, bro. So Greg just said, new to MC, not sure I'm catching how MC and TCAs help listing agents. Can you expound? So Greg, first of all, welcome to the team, bro. Do want to remind you that we have training every Wednesday and Thursday. So, a move up analysis, which could go a couple different ways. It could show them selling that house. And, at the end of the day, MortgageCoach will help you show the value, the net worth growth over time. So if they're buying a more expensive house, $100,000 more in house or more at a 4% appreciation rate, which is probably low, it's going to look better over time. And then you could also say, hey, let's rent out the house you're in. And you could put that in a TCA and say, hey, you've got this rental income. Or you could just kind of net it out like, oh, you're going to have $500 in positive rent, or you're going to have $1,000 in negative. And you can put that in and then show the long-term benefit. If they're buying a more expensive house, it's going to show the net worth. But show up to either our Friday or, excuse me, our Tuesday or Wednesday training. Real quick, also reminder to you, if you go to trustengine.com, 10x, not only, all the interviews, like if you're new to the community, literally, like right now I'm doing the Elon Musk audiobook. It's 20 hours long. It's a lot of content. Guys, this is less than listening to Elon Musk autobiography on an audiobook, and it will completely transform your life as a mortgage professional. So listen to this content. And then also just, you can sign up for those Wednesday courses here and here. And then also remember on this same page, trustengine.com/10x, we've got digital training, like these are all like 3-minute to 10-minute videos that will teach you how to do anything in mortgage coach land. So welcome to the community. And anyone who's not a mortgage coach, there's a sign up for mortgage coach button on the page. So Sean, we got 2 minutes left. Any closing thoughts for everybody?
I always come back to, if you feel compelled to do something, just do it. Like we wait and we wait and we wait and nothing happens. Just pick a date and make it happen. Like that's my closing thought.
Love it. So guys, just take action. And kind of my closing thought is there are I've been interviewing. I mean, everybody on that list is taking market share and winning in this market. I mean, now I realize I'm like surfing mountaintops. I'm talking to the loan officers that are closing 20 loans this month. Sean, who closed, 10 million last month. But there are thousands of loan officers that are gaining market share. And here's the deal. They're not loan officers. They're mortgage advisors. They're data-driven mortgage advisors. They're giving their real estate partners an informational advantage, and they're giving their buyers, their sellers, and their homeowners an informational advantage. So be that person. Sean, appreciate you, brother. I can't wait to see what you do with First Home IQ. Little knuckle throw.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I am too. Give us a little reaction, everyone. Like, what reaction comes to mind? Let's close it out with a little audience feedback. Lots of hearts, lots of claps, lots of partying, some thumbs up. Cool. And no more questions. So we'll wrap it up a minute early. Take care, brother.
All right, you guys. Thank you. All right, brother. Later.
Bye.